This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Greenwood Village, Colorado. I'm here at Cherry Creek Properties. I'm here with Mari. Since 1992, she has been making your home dreams come true. Mari, let's start off a little bit about yourself. You yourself made Denver your home sweet home in 1991. Since then, you've helped many folks do the same thing. Share with me a little bit how you got involved in this industry.
Well, I moved here in 1991. And a girlfriend calls me just a couple of weeks after I moved here, and she says, "Mari, I'm going to move to Denver too." And I go, "Why are you going to do that?" And she goes, "Well, I want to get one of them cowboys." And so I said, "Okay." A few months after she moved here, she goes, "Mari, I decided I'm going to get into real estate." And I said, "Well, I always wanted to do that too." So we both got into real estate. Well, what happened was we both went to our first class together. After the first class, she ended up having an emergency, had to go back home. And here I am by myself in Denver, absolutely knowing maybe 2 or 3 people, and that was it, and started in real estate. And that's how I started.
That's a great story. I mean, quite honestly, you're like a lot of folks. We come to Denver here. We find it easy to love the area, love the community. We no longer want to be here temporarily, possibly renting. We want to buy a home for ourselves. Let me ask you this. This, regardless if it's a first home or your 5th home, it's an exciting time for people, don't you think?
Yes, and what's really a privilege for me is that I get to be involved in it, and not only am I taking them through the process, it gives me an opportunity to be a part of their lives. And I think what's different, it isn't just about developing a relationship, it's about creating a trust and also that professionalism that makes them feel confident, not only in myself, but in themselves and making the right decision. And I think that's what's most important.
Wonderful. Obviously, like I say, this is an enjoyable time for folks, but it can also be an overwhelming time for them as well. Share with me how 20 years of experience that you bring to the table, along with your partner, really make a difference for folks when it comes to enjoying that process.
Well, I think it's not just only ourselves, it's also my transaction coordinator, the lender, the title company, and everyone that's involved in the whole process.
Basically, you've got somebody who is buying a home. You've got appraisal value, you've got market value. Why is it important for somebody like yourself who really knows these communities firsthand to help them through that process?
It's amazing how the market just keeps changing and changing. And in that, if they're not aware of what's going on, they're telling me things from what they thought happened 6 months ago, 2 years ago, as though that's today's reality. And it's not. It's very fluid, and it happens, changes happen 2 or 3 or 4 times a year. And if they're not aware of that, then they're going with past experience or what they expect should be happening, and it's not today. And that's something that with the experience of a person that is in the industry full-time, working it all the time, like I am, makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I mean, I almost look at it kind of like an art when it comes to buying a home, because you want to make sure that you don't offer too much and basically overpay. You want to make sure that you don't offer too little and pass up that home of your dreams. Why is this an important time for people to seek out a professional like your team rather than go it alone?
I talk to a lot of realtors too, and what ends up happening is I hear them say things like, on their buyer side, "I can't get any of my buyers under contract." And I'm going, "Well, I understand that, but our buyers are going under contract, and they're going under quickly on a house that they want and for the price point that they want to be in." So I get it, but we're not feeling that. It's very different, and it's because I prepare the buyers in several different ways. They are completely credit approved before they go out. They are ready and understanding. We go through a class, just like there's down payment assistance programs. I sit them through that, and it takes anywhere from half an hour to 2 hours to go through that process. By the time we're ready to look, they know so much about the market. All they have to now do is, I tell them, when you go in the right home, you're going to feel it. Of course, we're not going to go look at 1 bedrooms when you want a 4-bedroom, but you'll know.
Mari educates her buyers so they are comfortable throughout the whole process, whether it's looking for homes, the financing on the homes, the inspection part of it. She makes sure they know every phase of what they're going to be facing. She communicates, she makes it fun, and she's a wonderful agent to work with.
Speaking of being able to work with, how important is it to work with an experienced realtor for yourself to make sure that the process goes through smoothly?
it's much easier for a loan officer to have an experienced real estate agent, someone that you're in partnership with that can help the buyers if you're having a problem, and if she's having an issue, I can step in and help her as well. So it's definitely a team effort.
Excellent. Let me ask you this. Obviously, the real estate market changes yearly. If you've been in it over 10 years, you know things have changed quite a bit. How important is it that a person stays on top of the new laws and what's happening out there?
It's incredibly important, and she's very educated, very knowledgeable, has a huge amount of experience behind her, and knows how to handle any situation that can come up.
Excellent. Somebody out there who doesn't have a realtor, obviously is looking for one. What would you tell them?
They can't lose with Mari.
Why is it important for folks that are out there shopping for a home to align themselves with a professional that basically keeps up to date on what's hitting the market, making sure we know what the MLS offers for them? Why is that important when they're trying to get specific and find the home of their dreams?
Well, the houses are going under contract so quickly. Something comes on the market Friday, it's under contract by, it comes on the market on Friday, and then it's under contract by Monday, and it just makes it aggressive, and that's hard to keep up with. But between my staff and myself, we tell our buyer clients, no matter when you see a home, we're going to go out and look at it. One of us is always available. And without that, I have many clients who tell me, I was working with another realtor and I couldn't get out fast enough. And so 6 months later, they're still not under contract. That doesn't happen with us.
Interesting. I mean, I spoke earlier with folks that you've helped here in the industry. They basically said that you walked them through the process very patiently, and it can be quite a process for folks. Is it important for you to really educate the folks that you work with so they understand the entire process?
Yes, I think it is. And it isn't whether it's just on the buying side, but it's also on the listing side too. I do a lot of fix and flips, and so because of that, I take that same knowledge and I bring it into a property that we're going to be selling. Of course, we have to make sure that what they can fix is something they can afford, but a lot of it's just really cosmetics and it's basic things. And from doing those kinds of little things, staging the property, it's amazing how much quicker we sell. And even in a market that sells quick, there's still a lot of bad properties out there, and they do take a while. So we can take a bad property and make it good.
You had mentioned earlier that basically you felt kind of it was an honor for people to trust you with this big decision in their life. One of the folks that you helped said that she felt comfortable with you from minute one. She basically felt there was a connection there. It's something you can't really explain or put your hand on. Is this really what the real estate industry is for you?
There is something about this industry that I think is really important, and it isn't just developing relationships, though I love the people that I've helped, and I think they've appreciated me too. But it's not that. It's kind of like when you hire a surgeon or when you go to a surgeon and you want to make sure, it isn't that feeling of, oh, I really like you. It's about trusting that it's the best surgeon that's available. It's the person who, when you're in an emergency situation, they know exactly what to do to save your life. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor and I'm not in a life-death situation, but I promise you, when someone is buying or selling a home, they think it's a life and death situation. It feels that way to them, okay? And so because of that, I have to make sure that I'm always available. I'm always making sure that they understand what's going on and that they're feeling a trust with me and also with themselves so that they feel that together we're partnering and doing the best we can for them. And I don't know how to express that, but you just have to experience it. And people know, because when they work with some people, whatever industry it's in, there's that sense or feeling like, this isn't working out quite right. And I'm always getting that sense and feel from people that they go, Mari, I trust everything that's going on, and with almost blind faith. And I don't want them to work with blind faith, but they almost could. But I try to educate them well enough that they are confident in the decisions that they make, that we make together.
I would have to disagree. I would say that you do know how to explain it very well, because I felt that passion come through, and I'm sure my viewers will as well. And obviously, like you say, folks out there that have had the pleasure of living here in Denver, maybe they're in a starter home, they're now ready to go on to their second or third home. They're basically ready to sell. They want to make sure they get the most value out of their home, but also the most value out of their time. How are you able to help them when it comes to pre-qualifying folks that are coming in and out of the house? And like you said, also making sure that it's staged for a A quick sale, yet at the same time getting the top dollar.
Well, I think that's where my background in finance, and also I'm very methodical, and I was the kid in school when the teacher gave you something to do, you know, an assignment. I got it done quickly. Instead of the one who procrastinates to the very last day and then tries to pull it all together. And I've carried that into my professional life. And so because of that, I set everything up front. And in doing so, I think I prepare everyone for the ups and downs, the things that are necessary, such as getting pre-qualified or staging a property. And in some cases, things that are carpet in a kitchen just doesn't do well, even in this market, getting that out of the way and doing something a little bit more up to date. And by doing that, people end up making more money.
The comfort level with Mari was just great right off the bat. She answered all our questions, was incredibly patient with the entire process, and helped us through what we needed to do to our home to make it the very most sellable home possible. And it was beautiful.
I mean, when we're selling our home, we're a little bit emotional because of the fact we're tied to this home. For yourself, was she able to explain each step of the process for you, not only, like you say, in the preparation of the home, staging of the home, but also making sure that the home was going to bring back the value that you intended for it to do?
Exactly. And we ended up selling the house for basically almost exactly what we had hoped to get out of it. Sold very quickly. We worked on it for quite a while, but then it's sold within a week.
First and foremost, I would say Mari was the most proactive and responsive of anyone like her that I've ever worked with. So when it came to the offer and making it to the closing, she took control but explained it to us all the way. And I have to say that Mari is as confident and justifiably so as anyone like her that I've worked with. And when it came to the negotiations, she didn't blink, and she was able to close the deal the way we wanted it closed, and yet I know that it was fair to the buyer.
Very nice having somebody in your corner that makes you feel confident. She really has sold over 2,000 homes since 1990s. Did that experience come through?
In spades, no question about it, far and away.
The comfort level was amazing, and she just worked us through each step that we needed to do. And anytime we would call, she was on the phone getting back to us. If she needed to come by, she came by.
She was right there with you through each step, so very comforting.
Yeah.
What if we have somebody out there who is thinking about selling their home? They don't have a realtor who they can work with. Tell me what you would tell them.
I would say if you're looking for somebody who can take the entire transaction all the way from the very beginning, when it's planning, thinking about what to do, all the way through the ending of that transaction and keeping your best interests in mind the whole way and making it into a successful proposition all the way, you just need to call Mari.
I would tell them that, especially if they haven't had any real serious experience, or if they have had experience, but she just worked you through each step, and it became a very comfortable process.
Wonderful. I see folks out there that put it for sale by owner. They want to try it out on their own. How are they missing a big piece of the market when we're talking about technology? I mean, anymore, you've got so much technology out there. Share with me some of the tools that you provide for your folks.
Well, I think when it comes to for sale by owners, for instance, when I first got in the market, there was two things I was doing. I always tell agents that I train, you either have to have a lot of money to start in this industry, or you got to go out there and do a lot of grunt work. Well, I had to do a lot of grunt work. So for that, I was doing two things. Number one, on the seller side, I was working for sale by owners, persuading them to work with a real estate agent. The key reason, because it's just like an iceberg. An iceberg, the part that you can see, that isn't what kills you, you know, that isn't what sinks the boat. It's what's underneath water. And so same thing with a transaction. It isn't just getting it under contract, it's everything that happens after the fact. And I think that's the key.
You had touched on earlier, it's not only you, but it's really your entire team that walks them through that process. How important is ongoing education for your team, and is that something that you promote here?
It is, and especially the key people, as buyer's assistants. I pretty much am showing about maybe 25% of the time, and buyer's assistants show 75% of the time. And so for them, they're going through the same training that I went through, and on top of that, they have to listen to me in regards to the training that I also put them through. And that's the experience that I've had in 23 years of doing a lot of transactions. I've done more transactions than most. I've probably closed about right around 2,000 transactions so far. The average agent only closes about 5 to 10 per year. And when you close few, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on in the marketplace. You don't know how to position your client, whether it's a seller or a buyer. And I think that's really important to do. So because of that, we are all going through training. I know we're supposed to take a minimum amount of continuing credit. I have no idea how many we're supposed to do, because I do far more than that. And I think it's very important to do.
Well, just the way Mari kind of takes charge of a situation, but she does it in a way that is very graceful too. It just makes you feel comfortable. You know that she's in your corner. And it was also a lot of fun. You know, I stopped being afraid or nervous, and I just really enjoyed my time. And we looked at a lot of homes. We spent a lot of time together, and she was very patient with me. I had lukewarm feed, then I had cold feed, and she really just walked me through the process and made sure that I found a home that worked best for me. I definitely felt at all times she was in my corner and she was available to answer questions. She would answer her phone. I would call at 8:30 at night, 9:30 at night, like, oh, I'm not quite sure, and I was under contract, and we went back out and looked again the next day. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's quite a few steps along the way. I mean, the process it can be quite lengthy at times. Did you feel each process was explained to you well by her?
I had a very clear understanding of what was going on at each step of the way. Definitely.
Excellent. Someone out there who is looking for a realtor, they don't have one, maybe they're in the same position you were, what would you tell them?
I would definitely recommend Mari, 100%.
I spoke with one of your clients earlier who was basically looking out purchasing a property, and she said when she first started out she was nervous, she was kind of scared of the whole process. By the end, she felt very confident because of the fact she learned as she went along, and she said you took the time to check out many properties. I imagine that is what it takes to keep people happy and comfortable.
It is, and Michelle was just she's such a doll, and as a school teacher, she had a very conservative approach to doing, I think, a lot of things in her life, and she was very shy, and so it took, I think, a couple times at least of going out and realizing that this isn't going to be a chore, this is going to be fun, and at the same time, having her understand the whole process of buying a home. So that's part of the education, and we were just invited to her housewarming party just a couple of weeks ago. But it's more than just the relationship. It's making a person feel confident that by the time we're in the process or finishing up the process, they have learned so much that they're almost thinking, gosh, I could be a real estate agent.
That is wonderful, and it really aligns nicely with your mantra, which is home sweet home. Okay. And like you say, you have helped folks here in Denver do that. Is this still a rewarding occupation for you? And obviously no more than 2 or 3 people that you did when you first started out. Have you enjoyed the process?
I have. It's been a blessing. I can't imagine doing anything else. I've always been a workaholic, but a workaholic has to drudge through the work. Now I don't work. I'm just having fun.
Her knowledge of the Denver metro market is second to none, and that really helps her position her buyers for the best deal under the best terms. That's not only fair for our buyers, but fair for the seller as well.
Excellent. Working in the past, obviously, education, an ongoing education is important in this industry. Are you able to see that come through as well as you work with her?
Absolutely, and I draw on her knowledge all the time, particularly when it comes to the contract end of the transaction. She is so well versed in knowing all of the nuances of that contract that it makes my job a lot easier knowing that I'm going to pass them on to Mari, who's going to see them through the financial aspects of the deal.
Seems like we're talking over 2,000 homes she sold. That's quite a bit of movement here in Denver.
Well, that can be part of the drawback to a lot of people in this industry because we do put in a lot of hours. But when you're having fun, it shows through, and the people really appreciate that when they see somebody who's excited to be showing them homes and it's not drudgery or a burden.
Excellent. Somebody who out there is looking for a realtor, they don't have one, what would you tell them?
I would say Mari Takeshita is the gal for you. She knows the business inside and out, but more importantly, she knows the Denver market, and she also, it's the old adage, Gary, it's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's where Mari really shines through.
It's like your partner said, the folks around you really are able to pick up the vibe that you're having a good time and you enjoy your work. I think that makes all the difference. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website is their contact information right there. Take a look at the testimonials. We're talking about a company, Cherry Creek Properties, located here in Greenwood Village. Mari has been helping folks since 1992 with over 2,000 properties that have come across her desk, her table. She's got an entire team that is helping you through this process of basically finding the home of your dreams. And you can walk in and enjoy home sweet home like she has here in Denver. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. We hope we've enticed you to try something new this week. Until next time, if you know of a business who you feel the whole city should know about, nominate them, we'll send a reporter out. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.
Full-service barbershop that caters to men's unique style and personality. Stylists are trained in shaving, haircutting, beard trimming, and designing, shampooing, and styling. Escape into a world of total comfort, relaxation, and rejuvenation. Treat yourself to an experience of a quality haircut, face shaves with a straight razor or safety razor, massage therapy, manicure, pedicure, color, or wax performed by the specially selected Knockouts girls. Indulge yourself with a unique Knockouts cut, style, or other grooming service. Our first-class service includes today's most advanced coloring and hair management techniques and products. Our staff are specially selected and your services are assured. As always, walk-ins are welcome. Don't leave your appearance to just any salon. You deserve the best in men's hair care and grooming. Knockouts, the best place for men's hair care and grooming.
Canine Rehabilitation and Conditioning Group leads the industry of animal rehabilitation, and our caring team will help your dog or cat to feel stronger, move better, and get back into the game of life. Our rehabilitation experts are leading the industry of restoring quality of life to geriatric, injured, overweight, post-operative, and neurological or otherwise compromised dogs through physical therapy and integrative veterinary approaches.